Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 2 to 3 focus activity. Yay. At the moment, I see no one, but I'm sure that you're coming. I'm positive. I feel it. Okay. So if you are new to webinars, hi. It's really nice for you to be here. If you're returning, also hi. We like to see you. So we will introduce ourselves. But in the meantime, or whenever you arrive, tell us who you are, where you are, and also what school you go to. And it will be really nice to meet like this. So I am Jadene. I am from London in the UK, and I am a teacher at the Via Meravigli School in Milan.
And I am Michelle. I am a teacher with Jadene. Even though Jadene and I have actually never met in person, we teach together and hopefully we will continue teaching together once things go back to normal. I am from Pakistan. I've been living in Milan for about 3 years now. And I think that's it for now.
Okay. Cool. So, who are you?
Okay, we have one viewer. Hello there. You have our attention. Write to us and tell us where you're from and what you do. Vacation plan.
Exactly.
In the meantime, we
Yes.
have this amazing focus to talk about our future vacation plans.
Exactly. I thought it would bring some hope to, the situation, planning the future. Although Michelle has just told me that she loves the quarantine.
I think love might be an exaggeration, but
Okay.
it's definitely not that bad. I definitely miss being able to go outside and enjoy some fresh air, but I don't mind staying at home either. I am an introvert, so I enjoy reading and writing and painting. So, hobbies you can do by yourself.
Okay. Cool. So just before we begin, what is an introvert?
Good question. Okay, so an introvert is someone who doesn't need any external stimulus to enjoy life.
Well, that's nice.
Whereas,
That's a nice description.
whereas an extrovert is someone who is outgoing and really likes to surround themselves with people because they need that external stimulus to enjoy life.
Okay. Cool. So maybe my laptop is slow. There we go. Vacation plans. In this focus activity, we will be choosing a vacation or a holiday. Yay. This is something
Mm,
I want. We will also be looking at there is, when we use there is and why. And we will also be looking at the verb to want. Okay. So, Michelle, do you want to read the slide?
sure, vacations. Do you prefer the beach or the mountains? Do you prefer the city or the countryside? I prefer blank. JD, do you prefer the beach or the mountains and why?
Okay. First, what does it mean to prefer something?
Okay, to prefer something is when you appreciate one thing more than another. You enjoy it, you like it more than you like another.
Okay. Oh, hello, Marcelo or Marcello. I'm not sure, but
Well,
welcome.
where are you from, Marcelo? Are you from Milan? Are you from Italy? Where in Italy are you from? It's really nice to meet you too.
Yeah, really. So please, you have our all of our attention. So please tell us or ask us questions whenever you want to. And also you can answer these questions too. So do I prefer the beach or the mountains? I like them both, but maybe I prefer the mountains. I just think that they are so pretty. I think they look really nice. I like the snow.
Do you prefer the mountains in summer or winter?
Um, Maybe both because in summer it's warm, but the views are lovely. So when you look at everything, it looks really, really nice. Um, and in the winter, of course, you can do lots of winter activities like skiing or just walking through the snow. So Marcello has said, I am from Sicily. Nice. Have you ever been to Sicily, Michelle?
I have spent a lot of time in Sicily and I am in love with it. It's so beautiful. The food is to die for. It's so good.
Okay, so if something is to die for, yes, it means it is so good. But now he lives in, I don't know how to pronounce this place. Do you know?
Leniano?
Oh, okay. And where is that? Where is it? My geography of Italy is really, really bad.
I'm not sure either, to be honest. I think it's in the northwest. I think I'm not entirely sure. It
No,
should
no, you
be
can
close to Busto. Yeah, why don't you tell us, Marcelo? We're paying guests.
tell us. Exactly. So he says, I prefer the beach, but in winter, I prefer mountains because I like skiing. Okay, actually, maybe I am the same because I do like the beach in the summer, but not when it's too hot.
Mm,
Because when it's too hot, you don't want to do anything.
true. But when you have the sea, you can just jump into it and cool down.
It's true. That is true. I do like the sea, but I am not very good at swimming.
Hmm.
So I like to be in the water, but not if it's too wavy, which means there's a lot of waves, there's a strong current, and it can be more dangerous. Um, so what about the second question? Do you prefer Michelle and also Marcello, and whoever else is watching? Do you prefer the city or the countryside? And also, what's the difference?
Good question. So the countryside is the area outside the city, which is green. It has a lot of fields, a lot of grass. There aren't many buildings. Small towns and small villages are usually in the countryside.
Okay.
So I
Hmm.
personally prefer, okay, it depends. If it's a long vacation, I wouldn't mind going to the countryside for a week to relax. But anything longer than that, I think I would get bored because I've grown up in a big city. I've always lived in a big city. I don't know what I would do in the countryside for a prolonged period of time. Marcelo says that he prefers the countryside because in the city there is a lot of traffic.
Excellent. Really good. So what else do you like about the countryside? Because
Mm.
I am a city person, which means I am comfortable in the city. But I really like going to the countryside because it's so different and it's very peaceful and it's nice, I think, to relax. I think cities can be really stressful because there's lots to do And like you said, there's a lot of traffic, and people are always in a rush or in a hurry. They always act like they have a very short time to do anything. Um, so yeah, mm,
Yep,
interesting.
that's true. But if you had to pick a vacation for, say, 4 days, a quick weekend getaway, what would you
Mm,
pick?
I don't know. I don't know. I want all of them. I want to do all of the weekend getaway. I want to go to a city and I want to go to the country. Maybe after the quarantine, um, I would like to go to Florence because I've not been yet, and it's close and it's interesting. So that's probably the weekend getaway I would like next.
That is a great idea. Florence is absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favorite Italian cities. Mm, so, what do you like to do when you are on vacation?
So again, it depends where we are, and again, mashallah for you as well. Um, if I am in the mountains, I would like to ski. If I am at the beach, I would like to have things to do because I get bored very quickly. So maybe some water activities or maybe a hike somewhere, which is just like a long walk, um, but not through a city. The We say terrain, so the ground has to be different. Maybe it's a walk along the beaches, or maybe it's through some type of forest or nature area, or something like the
Hmm.
Cinque Terre, where they have like beaches, but also you can walk in between.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Cinque Terre is absolutely fantastic to do these things, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you
Um,
get to do everything. And what about you? What do you like
uh,
to do on holiday?
um, I I really enjoy relaxing. So wherever I am, it just has to be something that's not forced and something that's not heavily scheduled, right? Because I have a few friends who are like, wake up at 6 o'clock, the bus is at 8 o'clock, we catch the bus, we get there, we go to the beach for 2 hours, 3 p.m. We have a reservation at this restaurant.
Oh,
I
see, I would love that, that if somebody else did it for me. I don't want to schedule anything. I want everything to be scheduled for me. um, so if I go, so one thing is we don't just say in sea. So if you mean physically inside the water, we say if I go in the sea. If you mean to near the sea, we can say if I go to the sea or if
Mhm.
I stay by the sea. So near the beach in an area with the sea. I prefer to swim. If I go to the mountains, again, I prefer skiing. So much we always say with the word go. So the verb to go it just means to move from one place to another. So we almost always follow the verb go with the preposition to, which means for direction. So I go from one place to another.
Absolutely. And we also, like Jadine said, we use it to move from one place to another. So we also use it when you're moving between cities. For example, if you went back to Sicily, you would say, I go to Sicily, right? You wouldn't say, I go in Sicily.
That's true. The only exception is if we talk about home.
Hmm.
So we always just say, I go home, but everything else, I go to work, I go to Rome, I go to the mountains. Perfect. So the third question, do you prefer to travel alone, so solo by yourself, or with someone else?
I think I definitely prefer to travel with someone because it's
Mhm.
much more fun when you have someone to do all the fun activities with. But I
Yeah.
also don't mind traveling alone because that's fun, but in a different way.
So what do you mean you don't mind?
When I say I don't mind, I mean I don't like it, but I don't hate it either. I'm indifferent to it.
Okay. So it's like in the middle of like and dislike. It's okay. Okay. Um, cool. So I think for me, I am probably the same, but it depends on the type of trip because if you're in a big group of people, sometimes maybe if you visit a city, you want to do different things. So it can be nice to separate so you can see or do something that you want to. Um, but if you do everything alone, maybe you would hope that there was someone else to share the experience with, to talk to about things that you found interesting. So
That's a
maybe
nice
for short trips,
phrase. You use there to share the experience.
yeah, it just means everyone is experiencing the same thing. You can talk about it, you can laugh about it. Um, yeah, maybe for short trips, it's nice to go alone, but for a longer trip, you would want to share it with somebody. Or if you did something really, really cool, maybe it's nice to do with someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you went scuba diving,
Yeah,
right? Scuba
yeah.
diving.
So what is scuba diving?
Scuba diving is when you go underwater with the goggles so you can see the life underneath the surface or the underwater life.
Oh, okay. But that's similar to something else you can do where you don't go under the water, but you kind of float on top of the water.
Snorkeling.
Ah, okay. Okay. So with scuba diving, you go deep into the water, and with snorkeling, you just can look.
hmm
Interesting. So again, everyone watching, tell us, which do you prefer? Do you like to travel alone? Do you like traveling with someone? Or maybe you have never traveled alone or with someone, but you think it would be fun or good or horrible. So you can share with us as well what you think.
Do you have any horror stories from group travels?
From group travels, when I was 19, I spent 5 weeks in Asia with one other girl, and actually, I realized that I did not like her that much.
Oh,
Yeah, after a few days. So it was it was an interesting experience, but I learned that I can be very patient. um, so and I had fun. There were some parts of the trip that were really nice, and like we said, it's nice to have shared with someone. But for other parts, it would have been nice maybe to have some space. But I think it can be difficult if you travel with just one friend and they are also not used to traveling, because I have done a lot of trips alone.
hmm
So friends similar to me, I think, are great because it's very easy if you want some space or some distance.
right.
But with other people who sometimes want to come with you, they have a very different mindset of a holiday. And it can feel a bit, um, you can feel a bit trapped, which is where you feel stuck and like you cannot do everything you want. And what about you, Michelle? Do you have any horror stories? So
Um,
bad holiday trips.
I don't have any horror stories per se, but when when I went trekking, I went with my best friend and two girls who we had never traveled with before, but we were friends with them. And on the trip, we found out that they were army surgeons in a past life. Because they would wake up at 6 o'clock, it's -3, we're huddled in a tent, and they would wake up at like 6 a.m. with a blaring alarm and use
Wow.
all the hot water.
Oh no.
Yep,
But you
it
were
was,
camping
we
on this
were.
trip?
So we had lodgings for the first base camp, but then as you progress up the Himalayas, obviously you need to camp, right? So while
Okay.
so in our at the first base camp, which was have the hot water. So and they were
Oh
very dedicated
no.
to the schedule, and it became a little uncomfortable because it was not the most the most fun. Yep, definitely felt a little trapped at that point.
It's when you feel like maybe you cannot separate. I think that's what the problem is. Because
Yep,
maybe if you took some space, it would have been nicer.
right, and you feel
Okay.
frustrated as well because you can't say anything.
Yes. Um. So there are some activities on the right. Would you read them out?
Absolutely. Activities, relax, go sightseeing, take photographs, send postcards.
Okay. So maybe we should just talk through what some of these are. So I think we know to relax just means
Mm-hmm.
to chill out, to rest, not to do anything. I hope that lots of people are relaxing at the moment in this period. Yes. Um,
Okay. Just one thing, relax is not reflexive. So in Italian, I believe you can say you can relax yourself, but in English, we do not say that. So you would say I am relaxing or I need to relax.
okay, cool. Then we have to go sightseeing. So what? Maybe we can talk first about what is a sight.
A site is something that is worth seeing.
Okay. So then, for example,
For
like what is
example,
really a
the
sight?
Duomo, right, in
Ah,
Milano, the Duomo is a site, meaning it's definitely
okay.
something worth seeing.
Okay, so it can be like a famous monument, usually in a city or country. It's something that people, tourists, are aware, so they know they should go and see. So
Hmm.
then, what does sightseeing mean?
So sightseeing is the activity of visiting those places.
Okay, cool. And then we have,
Okay, then we have to go sightseeing. So it's important to remember the verb for sightseeing is to go sightseeing, not do sightseeing.
yeah, that's a very good point.
Okay,
Um,
next up.
okay, so next we have to take photographs. So it's really important to remember as well. In English, the verb we use with the noun photographs is to take, not to make.
Hmm.
So I know that in Italian, I think you make a photograph, but in English, we always take the photograph. And yes, as Michelle has put, photograph is just another word for a picture. You can say either, you can say both, they are exactly the same. And finally, send postcards. So, what is a postcard?
A postcard is a tiny card. It's a piece of paper, usually with a picture of a famous site of the city. For example, a picture of the Duomo. And on the back, you can write out a message for your family, for your friends, and then send it to them via snail mail.
Snail mail.
So snail mail is basically mail that goes through the post office because it takes so
Okay.
long.
Oh, okay. So very slow mail. I've not heard this before. It's like a slang word. So snail mail. Interesting. So Marcello says, I prefer to take photographs and to relax or and relax.
Mhm.
Okay, great. So because prefer is already a verb, usually if we use two verbs together, we either say I prefer to take or we can use the ing word. So you can either say I prefer to take photographs or I prefer taking photographs. You can say either, but we don't usually have two base verbs together.
Absolutely. And the same goes for I prefer, I like, I hate, I really
Yeah,
like, I dislike. Same rule.
yeah, yeah. You can see it in this question as well. What do you like to do or I like to? So we always put to before the main verb. Okay, so here we have four different pictures, so you're welcome to answer them while I read out the particular description or the different descriptions. So one picture is of a swimming pool, the second is of a beach, the third is for room service, and the fourth is for breakfast. But you can see these pictures aren't real pictures because they are pictures you would see on signs or on maps. For example, if you are at a hotel, maybe instead of writing, because people speak different languages, they would use pictures for all of the guests. So have you ever seen any of these pictures, Michelle, or are they new to you?
I have seen a few of them. For example, I have seen picture A, and
Okay.
I definitely have seen picture B, but I've never come across picture C or picture D myself.
Okay. Where
And
have you seen? Oh no, go on.
and you?
Oh, and me? I have seen, I think all of them, but also not picture D. So I've never seen picture D, but I have seen picture C. Sometimes on signs
Hmm.
when you are near one of these. Okay. So
Okay.
great, Marcello. So he says A is swimming pool excellent, and I just want to point out because I know someone who used to say this. So swimming pool is the place that you swim, and the activity is swimming. So
That's a good definition.
I go swimming in the swimming pool. And wonderful. B is breakfast. C is the beach. And D is room service. And what is room service? You can tell me because I have never had room service before. I don't think I have experienced this.
So room service is when you call up the hotel. You're in your room at the hotel, and you call the kitchen and you ask for some food, and they deliver the food to your room. But
Ah,
it's usually far more expensive, and they usually have set hours. So say from 8 in the morning to 11 at night, because the kitchen closes at a certain point and they don't take orders beyond that. But my favorite sign to see at a hotel is B, when they offer you breakfast, because hotel breakfasts are amazing.
oh yeah?
Oh
Have you
yeah,
ever had a bad hotel breakfast then, or never?
no, I have. Unfortunately, I have had not bad but disappointing.
Oh, okay, so disappointing because you thought it would be good, but it wasn't. So it wasn't
Yeah,
what you thought. So
exactly.
there are some different types of breakfast you can get at hotels.
Mm.
And some common types is one that we call continental. Um, so usually you get this in Europe, but I'm not sure how to explain what it is. Can you help me?
I got this.
Okay, the breakfast pro. She
The
knows
breakfast
all
queen.
about the breakfast.
So continental breakfasts are European
Hold my
breakfasts,
tongue.
right? So if a hotel offers you continental breakfast, so you can expect the typical Italian breakfast. So you'll have your croissant, your Nutella, you'll have some fruits. You'll also have an English breakfast. So there'll be some bacon, there'll be some eggs, and there'll be some nuts and some yogurt, maybe a cake, but that might be pushing it. Uh,
Yeah, Italians eat
right?
very, very sweet breakfast. Do you eat a sweet breakfast, Michelle?
No,
No, me
no,
either.
no,
What do you
no.
typically eat for breakfast?
Well, these days my go-to is an egg. So I usually have some eggs.
Okay. Okay. So Marcello has said, I prefer the
Much
American
oil, an
breakfast.
omelet. He knows what he's
Ah, yeah,
talking about.
eggs are very versatile. You can do a lot. Okay. So Marcello, what is an American breakfast? Tell me, because I think I know, but I'm not sure. Um, but we also have, at least for the English breakfast, they would call it a cooked breakfast.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, like Michelle mentioned, it's food that you can cook, like eggs, bacon, sausages, if you eat meat. Um, and of course, what English people are famous for are beans. We love baked
Mm.
beans on toast for breakfast. We love them.
Right, and the most
Um,
important, hash browns.
Oh my God, yes. And hash browns. Hash browns are a way of cooking potatoes where you have very small pieces of potatoes and you fry them, of course, because the cooked breakfast, cooked in English is the nice way of saying fried, because no one wants to admit that we eat fried food in the morning, because we feel like bad people. So Um, so yeah, and then usually for children, although I am like a child, so I also eat cereal sometimes for breakfast.
What is your favorite breakfast dish?
Um, my favorite breakfast dish, I don't know. I love to eat breakfast outside because I am not very creative with breakfast, but in like restaurants or cafes, they have so many great things like pancakes or waffles or hash browns or like things with salmon and avocado.
Mm,
A lot.
mm.
I I love more than breakfast is I love brunch,
Ooh,
which is
yeah.
like yeah, it's like a bigger breakfast because you eat it between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. and I love it. I love brunch. I look so happy because I really like brunch. But there's not many places I've found in Milan. Actually, I've not found any places that sell brunch.
Ooh,
So,
I'll send you a few recommendations.
oh, please. That instead of planning a vacation, I would just plan brunch. Okay. So, next we have, and I'm still waiting, Marcello, to find out what is in this American breakfast. I want to know. Um, we have some questions. So, which hotel do you prefer and why? And I noticed that in a lot of these webinars, maybe not in real life, but in the webinars, when people give an answer, they don't tell us or they don't explain the reason for their answer. So this is really good to practice that. So Michelle, will you read the rest of the slide?
Absolutely. Which hotel do you prefer? Why? I prefer blank because there is a blank and blank. So my
Okay.
answer would be I prefer Hotel B because there is a pool and breakfast.
I noticed that you didn't say swimming pool. Do you have to say swimming pool or is pool okay?
Pool is sufficient because if you're talking about a hotel and you say pool, it's understood you are referring to a pool, a swimming pool. And in general conversations as well, from context, you usually understand swimming pool. So you can just say pool.
Okay.
Okay.
So Marcella agrees with you.
Yeah, because he likes the American breakfast, right? So he's like, yes, give me that breakfast in bed.
Yeah, he doesn't care that there's a pool. He just likes the breakfast. But no one is interested in room service.
Because it's too expensive.
Yeah, it is. It's expensive. It costs a lot of money. Okay,
And also, I think
so
when you are traveling, at least when I am traveling, and say I'm in a hotel, I want to spend as little time in the room itself as possible.
yes,
You know,
but
I
which
like to,
is funny though because you also don't want a horrible room,
yeah, exactly.
so you have to find the balance. An okay room,
An okay room.
okay, but not an amazing room. Just an okay room,
Yeah,
clean. I think.
clean. Yeah, I think that's the top priority, right? Is it clean?
Yeah, clean room. Okay, so what about for these two hotels?
Mm. Okay, this is tricky because Hotel B has a pool and it has the beach, and I love the
Yeah,
beach.
yeah. Hotel B is in the beach, whereas Hotel A is in the countryside.
True, I would definitely pick Hotel B because it has a beach. And I would go out and find some breakfast along the beach.
I see. I don't know. I like both of them. Maybe I would just disagree with you and say I prefer Hotel A because there's a pool, which is nice. It's kind of a pool is kind of like the beach. You can be in the water, but you can also go in like the trees or the garden area around for a walk, and they have breakfast. And I love included breakfast. Oh, okay. But Marcello agrees with you. So I prefer picture B because there is the beach and there is a fantastic view. So just remember in English, we put the adjective before the noun. Okay, always. But really
Okay.
nice. There does look like a fantastic view.
It does, but you never know because you might get the room which faces the street outside.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yes, we want the beach view or the ocean view room. Okay, so Michelle, do you want to do the slide?
Sure. When pick a destination for each season, explain your choice. In winter, I want to go to the mountains because I want to ski. So here we have a list of destinations, seasons, and activities. And Marcelo, why don't you tell us where you want to go, in which season, and why?
But also
Okay,
for
so
for the sorry, I was gonna say for the other viewers as well. Come write in the
yeah,
comments.
we have
We want to speak to you.
come join us. Tell us what you think. We love it when you guys interact with us. Okay, so the first
Oh.
one, I'm going to give you an example. Um, in summer, I want to go to the beach because I want to sleep on the beach.
But you have to be safe. You have to cover yourself. SPF.
Sure, absolutely. You have your sun umbrellas.
Okay. As long as you have your sun umbrella, it's okay.
Definitely.
For me, in the autumn, I want to go to the city, um, because I want to go sightseeing and take photographs. So I want to do lots of things.
Marcelo says,
Ah,
in the summer, I want to go to the sea because I want to swim. Right. So Marcelo
okay.
is from Sicily. So I also come from not Sicily, but a city which is very close to the sea, to the ocean, in fact. So I'm sure Marcelo understands this. When you live somewhere where you don't have the ocean or the sea, you feel landlocked. You feel like you
Oh,
are trapped. And
really?
yep, everyone that I've spoken to who has grown up in a coastal city or town feels this way.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Marcelo really enjoys being at the beach in summer.
Oh, that's nice. Um, so what could you do then where you grew up, Michelle?
Hmm,
Is it a holiday destination or
no.
no?
So I grew
Not
up
at all.
in Karachi, Pakistan, which the north is actually pretty popular for extreme tourism. So extreme sports are those sports such as trekking, bungee jumping, things like that. So the north
Oh
is more
wow.
popular for things like that. But at south, I'm from the south, we don't really have much tourism at all. But what I would do growing up is definitely go to the beach very often because the beach was about 15 minutes, a 15-minute drive away from my house. So it was always accessible.
Okay. Cool.
What about you,
So
Jane?
what would you
What
do
did
in
you
the
do
winter
growing up?
then? Or would you go um
We don't really
I
have
when
much
I
of a winter.
oh yeah, it's true. It's true. Um you have the wet season and the dry season.
Yep,
Um
exactly.
um I grew up in London, which is a very busy city. But I don't know if there's anything that I did regularly, or I did often because there is so much like that you can do, um, so, which is I guess very nice. So yeah, we would just do different things, but there was nothing particularly. I think when I was growing up that I have in mind that we always used to do. But in the summer, we would try to go to the beaches in the UK. But the ones close to us were not very nice and sandy. They have pebbles, so small stones, which are not comfortable. And the sea is horrible. But in England, usually near the water or near the sea, we have what we call a seaside, and there are lots of rides that people can go on, and there's lots of food and candy and shows, etc. So yeah, the seaside is really not the beach, but it's nice. Okay.
We have that too back
Um,
home, the seaside,
oh,
right?
really?
So you have people selling food and
Yeah,
rides. It's nice.
exactly.
Kids
So it's
really.
not the same as the beach, but it's fun. Yeah. Um, okay. So, Marcelo, in spring, I want to go to the mountains because I want to take photographs. That's nice. That's really lovely. So, finally, we can do the best task, which is where we are at the travel agent. So, Michelle, what is a travel agent?
Mm. A travel agent is someone, a person who organizes your trip.
Ooh, is it like a friend?
No, absolutely not. He's a professional, and you got to pay up.
Okay, okay. So you have to pay for the service. Okay. So it says, plan your dream vacation with a travel agent. So
Mm.
everyone watching, please answer the questions by filling in the gap. And in the meantime, Michelle and I will do the role play. So would you like to be the travel agent or would you like to plan?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, you do that.
Okay. Where would you like to go?
Ah, you asked a different question, but this is
I
just
get
as
it.
nice. Yes, so sometimes a more polite way of saying, what do you want to do? You can say, what would you like to do, or where would you like to go? It means the same thing. It's just more polite.
Right. And if
Um,
you
so
work in the hospitality industry, it's always better to say, what would you like? What would you like to eat? Where would you like to go?
yeah,
It sounds so much nicer than what do you want, which sounds a bit rough, like, what do you want? You're wasting my
yeah,
time.
definitely, definitely. So it's more polite. It's better for any kind of hospitality, yeah, sector or industry. So and again, when I reply, I can say I want to go, but it's nicer if I say I would like to go, and I would like to go to the beach.
Okay, and when do you want to go?
Um, I'd like to go in at the end of spring because I don't want it to be too hot.
And which features do you prefer in a hotel?
So I prefer a hotel with a pool and a spa.
Nice.
Yeah. And where breakfast is included.
Breakfast is included. What does that mean?
So if something is included, it means that there is no extra cost. I don't have to look for breakfast. I don't have to pay for breakfast. The breakfast is already paid for in the price of my ticket.
And what do you want to do?
I want to see some sights. So I want to go sightseeing and also to relax at the beach.
Okay, and who do you want to go with?
I want to go with my mum.
Sweet.
Some mother-daughter time. I miss her.
Oh yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Okay, that was our role play. Unfortunately, we're out of time and we need to
Yeah.
wrap it up now. Thank you so much for joining us and interacting with us, Marcelo. You made our class so much better.
Definitely. Yeah, I have nothing to add. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can write them down. But these webinars are on every day from 9 in the morning until 9 in the evening. So I'm sure some of them will come up again with different teachers as well. So you can have a different experience each time. Bye.
Bye.